Glory to God in the highest.
Hi, thanks for tuning in to another episode on Daily Inspiration. And as always, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us. And hopefully you'll be edified with what we've put together for you here. And for this video, it's going to be another short video on spiritual warfare. And I'd like to share a few interesting things with you from Father John, which hopefully we all can reflect upon together. And the clip that I'm sharing here isn't exactly the ones that I usually share, but I picked the clip where Father John actually addresses the things that the people who worship the evil one do, which goes to show why more than ever we need to pray for these people to find the path to God once more, and not be misled by the devil who only wants to lead them to hell.
Well, evil is a counterfeiter. Evil does not create, God creates. Evil can subvert what God creates, but it can't make things. Okay? So just like we have this direction one way, there is evil prayer. You know, there is a Satanic Bible. I should explain a little bit. My day job is a prison chaplain. Okay? I work in prison. Been there for 8 years. Before the 8 years there, I worked at the state hospital that was brand new that treated rapists and child abusers. I've picked the easy job for the last 10 years, okay? So Satan loves to subvert what God has in place. So there's a Satanic Bible. I actually had a prisoner ask me for one day, okay? They have worship services. You don't want to hear what goes on in there because it's pretty disgusting. Okay? They don't celebrate the sacrament. They actually pray backwards. They'll say the Mass backwards. It's called the Black Mass. They actually have the crucifix inverted. They will defecate and urinate during their services. It is pretty disgusting kind of thing. But people get involved in this. So they have, satanic study. I'm not sure what their equivalent to the rosary is. If you look very carefully on some rosaries that are printed that come out of China, they're a little odd. They look like a rosary. They've got, all the beads in the right place. But if you look at the cross very carefully, it's not a cross we recognize. And there seems to be someone on the cross, but there is this serpent that circles around the cross. And at the points where the hands would be and the head would be, there's a shining, looks like a sun. It's a very unusual thing. Don't know exactly where that's come from, but it's not coming from Catholics in their tradition. They don't believe in forgiveness, so they don't need penance. They have... They commit themselves to following the evil one. And if they leave the coven or following him, there's very serious penalties and sometimes even possession. They will dedicate their children and their offsprings down many generations if they ever turn against the evil one, that they would be possessed. So like we would dedicate a child in God's church to God, they dedicate their children to the evil one. They have a black mass. They have demons. The problem is that people are getting involved in this stuff now, not knowing it.
And I particularly like this clip of Father John, sharing how it was back in the days when it was not as bad as it is today.
Here's the thing that our society has kind of lost, I'd say, in the last 20 or 30 years that I've noticed. And that is, we used to live in a Christian culture, or at least a God-fearing culture, okay? I'm not 60 yet, okay? But I remember a time where you would be lucky to find a gas station open on a Sunday. Stores were not open on Sundays, okay? You did not go shopping on Sundays, all right? There was no Sunday football, which is another god of its own color and shape. The understanding of God, sacredness of life, respecting one another. See, this whole system as Christians was designed to propel us in a life toward God. And even if you weren't very devout in the day, just about everybody went to church somewhere. Everybody was not offended that if you sent them a Christmas card, season greetings did not quite catch on yet at that point in time. So society was helpful in helping people really focus about their destiny with God.
For the second part of this video, I'd like to share something from another exorcist, Father Fortea. I've been sharing quite a few from him lately, and hopefully what I've shared so far, you'll learn a lot of useful stuff from him. And from one particular question and answer with Father Fortea, he was asked this question: is God's greatest creation Lucifer or the Blessed Virgin Mary? And he answered, before this question can be answered, we have to understand that Lucifer, which means morning star, was the angelic name of that angel before he rebelled against God and became a demon. Father Fortea says angel here because, while most theologians consider Lucifer to be synonymous with the evil one, some think that he is a demon distinct from the evil one. We'd also take as a given that Lucifer was the highest angelic nature created by God. And so, having made these clarifications, we return to the question at hand. Strictly speaking, the highest nature that God has created was that of the greatest of the angels, Lucifer. The Blessed Virgin Mary, though, became the loftiest creature through her sacrifice, her works, and the grace of God. Her exaltation was not an act of creation, but of sanctification. God made Lucifer magnificent in his nature, and he corrupted himself. God made Mary humble in her nature, a human being and as such inferior to the angels, and she sanctified herself. We can see that a sort of an inverted parallel exists between these two figures. Lucifer is the most perfect creature by nature. Mary, the most perfect creature by grace. Lucifer corrupted himself by disobedience. Mary sanctified herself by obedience. Lucifer wanted to be king, refusing to serve, and in the end became nothing. Mary wanted to be nothing, desiring to serve, and in the end was crowned Queen of Heaven. There is a parallelism even in their titles, the angelic star of the morning, Lucifer, and the star of the morning of the redemption, Mary. The first star, Lucifer, fell from the angelic firmament. The second star, Mary, was elevated. The first star, which was spirit, fell to the earth. The second star, which was human, ascended to heaven. Lucifer did not want to accept the Son of God made man. The Blessed Virgin Mary welcomed him in her womb. Lucifer is a spiritual being who ended up making himself worse than a beast, without ever ceasing to be spiritual. Mary is a human being that ended up becoming better than an angel, without ceasing to be human. Now there is only one morning star, which is Mary. Not only did the first morning star fall, the second morning star shines even brighter. Mary's radiance is much more beautiful and intense than Lucifer's ever was because she shines with a light of grace, not merely nature. Well then, that will be all for the video this time. And as always, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us, and hopefully, all of you have learned a lot from watching this video. And remember, if there's any feedback or suggestion, please let me know in the comments below. Until the next one, stay safe, stay healthy, and may God bless you.